What is going on, guys? Back with another video. I'm sure you've all seen this insane crash, one of the biggest crashes we've seen in the crypto world in relation to Mantra. And I think this just shows that some people think high caps are, immune from these massive dumps, and the truth is they're not. And another truth is if you're in crypto, you need to be prepared for this to happen. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people think, or we've still got security from holding certain tokens, and then people want to come on and blame YouTubers because they think that they've got a crystal ball. They think they can predict the future. The truth is, no one can. Um, so yeah, guys, you're responsible for your investments. I've made many videos on many other projects, many other RWA projects, which I still believe in. Mantra has never been one of my main RWA holdings, but people could not deny how much it went up. And of course, everyone, once the crash happens, everyone wants to come and act like an expert. So this is the reality, guys, right? You need to be prepared for this insanity to happen. And once it happens, there's no point coming acting like you're an expert. All right. So anyway, let's get into it, guys. What was the cause of this dump? Can Mantra ever recover? Which is pretty hard to believe. I mean, when you look at this drop, um, and the main thing with this is look at how this rallied up. And as I said, it was a very good looking chart up until this insanity happened. So what happened is Mantra, just over the past few minutes, they have released an update. Now, the main point to think here, guys, is this update took hours and hours, right? You've seen low caps when some micro caps, when some low caps have been, we've seen them, rug or, hack or something. We've seen the team come to the table very fast and give some clarity on what's happened. This has taken Mantra, and to just understand, Mantra was a coin which was sat at the billions and billions of market cap, and it's just not acceptable for a big project like Mantra to come after hours after the dumps happened. So they've come out and they've said, Mantra community, we want to assure you that Mantra is fundamentally strong. Today's activity was triggered by reckless liquidations, not anything to do with the project. One thing we want to be clear on, this was not our team. We are looking into it and we'll share more details about what happened as soon as we can. So it's not good enough. This should not take this long. And, in the meantime, many people have come with their own sort of ideas on the reason for the crash. And, everyone's an expert once the crash happens. And again, guys, it's important to touch this. Many influencers, many YouTubers have covered Mantra. And the thing is, you cannot predict the future. You can't predict what's going to happen. There's many coins in the future which will rug, many high caps will rug. And as I've said, this is just the reality of being a crypto investor. So, don't try and act smart once the thing happens, once the event happens, because you had no clue it was going to happen, right? So there's a lot of speculation on, of course, the team insiders dumping the token, changing, the tokenomics, delaying the airdrops. So there is a lot of speculation. A lot of things are going to come to light. People are saying that they were selling tokens over the counter at huge discounts. So my honest opinion currently, you should stay away from this. Some people were long in this, short in this. Is this going to recover? Very unlikely. And again, guys, I've spoke about this before. When it comes to RWA, of course, Mantra was the biggest RWA project. No one can deny, there was many people who were bullish on it. But as I've said, guys, as an investment, as I said, Ondo was always the better option in my opinion. But at the end of the day, guys, you cannot predict the future. And all this does open some sort of an opportunity for RWA projects. Of course, Mantra, whether or not it's going to recover. I mean, if we look at the what's happening now with this update from the team, it looks as if it's having a little bit of a recovery, but I would not touch this at all. And it's sad because a lot of people were holding this long term, and this, as I've said, is just the reality. But we need to see more updates. We need to see exactly in depth what's happened with Mantra, and you can pretty much be confident that this is going to be escalated further. And whoever the team, the founders, are going to be investigated. And they really haven't learned anything from the likes of Terra Luna, FTX, all these massive events that we've had in the past. And yeah, it's a massive shame to see these things happen. But I think it just really opens your eyes to the reality of being an investor in crypto. Nobody can predict the future. And that's the truth, that's the reality. But a lot of a lot of updates now, a lot of people speculating on the cause, and I think it is pretty clear that there is manipulation going on. Um, and as I've said, for me, this was a small holding for me. This was, had a lot more conviction in other players. You can see, Ondo, the likes of Plume, prop base, prop chain. So for me, it is a bit of a hit, but ultimately, that is why I always say to have a diversified portfolio so you don't get caught up in these, impossible to predict events. So yeah, guys, all you can really do is wait it out and see what sort of reasoning the team come up with. But one thing's for sure, guys, they will be investigated because this is such a massive, massive event, a massive crash, literally from 6 billion to all the way under 1 billion in the space of a few hours. So anyway, guys, I hope you're all coping. If you are a holder of Mantra, my thoughts go out to you. And going forward, all you can really do is diversify, never have all your eggs in one basket. And for all the people who think that they can predict what's going to happen, you can't predict what is going to happen today, tomorrow, in a few months, in a few years. So you just have to, as I've said, if you're up, take profits. And at the end of the day, guys, Mantra, I was covering Mantra you know, when it was, around a billion, under 2 billion market cap. It did rally up, and you had an opportunity to take profits. And of course, a lot of people didn't take profits, and this is just the nature of the market, guys. So anyway, hope you are coping with this, and I'll see you very soon for the next video.